Let me start with something that might sound strange, maybe even unbelievable. The person you think you are is not real. That identity, that you carry around in your mind every day, it's just a thought. And that, my friend, is why you suffer. Now, I know the mind might be screaming, "What do you mean? Of course I'm real. I have a name, a story, a past, a future." But stay with me. I'm not saying you don't exist. I'm saying the version of you that lives in your head, the one you constantly refer to as I, is nothing more than a mental image. It's a story your mind tells over and over, so often that you've come to believe it's you. From the moment you wake up in the morning, the mind starts narrating, "This is my life. These are my problems. This is what I need to do today. This is who likes me. This is who doesn't. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm bad at." And we believe every single word. But here's the shocking truth. None of those thoughts are the real you. They're just mental labels, memories, and opinions stitched together like a patchwork quilt. And like all thoughts, they come and go, which means the you they describe is also temporary and unstable. That's why life feels so fragile, because you're trying to protect and perfect something that only exists as an idea. Let's slow this down. When you think about yourself, what comes up? Your name, your body, your job, your relationships, your hobbies, your personality traits, your childhood memories. But notice, every single one of those is something you know about yourself, not what you actually are. You can watch those things change. You've had different jobs, different friends, different beliefs, even different personalities over the years. If all of those things have changed, then how can they be the real you? The truth is, they can't. They are experiences you've had, but they're not your essence. In non-duality, we say the self you believe you are is like a character in a dream. That character appears to be real inside the dream, but when you wake up, you realize it was just an image in consciousness. Right now, you're dreaming the me dream. You've mistaken a bundle of thoughts for your actual identity, and here's where suffering comes in. Thoughts can't survive without constant reinforcement. That means the mind keeps working day and night to keep them story alive. Every criticism, every compliment, every success, every failure, it all gets fed into the story. And the story needs drama to survive. Which is why the mind creates problems, worries about the future, regrets the past, and constantly compares itself to others. It's not because you're broken. It's because the thought self can only feel real when it's busy fixing, defending, or improving itself. Think about it. How many of your problems exist only in your head? How many hours have you spent replaying an old argument, imagining what someone thinks of you, or planning how to avoid failure? That's the thought self at work. And as long as you believe that thought self is you will suffer every time its story gets threatened. Someone disrespects you. The thought self takes it personally. You fail at something? The thought self feels worthless. Someone rejects you? The thought self feels unloved. But here's the thing. The real you, the awareness watching all of this, is untouched. The real you is like the open sky, and the thought self is just a passing cloud. The problem is, we've been conditioned from birth to identify with the cloud instead of the sky. As children, we were told our name, our gender, our role in the family, what's good and bad, what's acceptable and unacceptable. We built an image to fit in, to be loved, to feel safe. Over time, We forgot that it was just an image. We began to live as if it were the truth. This is what non-duality calls the illusion of self. And because we're clinging to this fragile mental construct, we live in constant fear. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of death. But what if the you that could fail or die was never real to begin with? Now, let's get practical. How do you see through this illusion? First, you have to notice the difference between thoughts and awareness. Right now, if I say, notice your breath, you can do it instantly. That's awareness. It's effortless. Now, notice the thought, I'm watching my breath. That's the mind turning the experience into a story about you. Thoughts are always about something. Awareness is simply here, without needing a subject or object. When you begin to live as awareness rather than as the thought self, the grip of suffering begins to loosen. Second, watch how them story pops up during the day. Someone criticizes you. Watch the mind instantly start defending itself. Notice that defense as a thought. Someone compliments you. Watch the mind puff up with pride. Notice that too. Don't try to stop the thoughts. Just see them for what they are. Mental activity passing through awareness. When you see them clearly, they lose their power to define you. Third, explore moments when you forget yourself completely. Have you ever been so absorbed in music, nature, or laughter that there was no you thinking about yourself? Those moments are glimpses of what's always here when the thought self is quiet. You don't disappear in those moments. In fact, you feel more alive, more present, more free. That's because you're resting as what you actually are, pure awareness, unburdened by a mental image. Here's the most important part. When you realize the person you think you are is just a thought, you stop trying to fix or perfect that imaginary self. You stop chasing approval or fearing rejection. You stop feeling like you're not enough, because you see there is no enough or not enough in reality. There's just this moment as it is, and this moment is already whole. I'm not saying this recognition will instantly erase all your suffering. The thought self has been running the show for years, maybe decades. It will keep trying to pull you back into its drama. But every time you remember, this is just a thought, not me, you step out of the prison of identification. Over time, those steps turn into a natural way of living. And when you live this way, suffering no longer sticks. Pain still comes, but it passes through you like wind through an open window. So the next time you feel hurt, anxious, or unworthy, pause and ask, who is suffering right now? Look closely. You'll find it's always the thought self, the story of me, that's in pain. The awareness noticing the pain is not suffering at all. That awareness is silent, vast, and free. And that is who you really are. You were never the story. You were never the cloud. You were never the bundle of thoughts. You are the sky, unchanging, open, infinite. And when you see this clearly, the game of suffering starts to lose its power over you. The person you think you are is just a thought, and once you see that, you are free. If you stayed with me until the end, it means something deep in you knows this truth, that you are not just the person you think you are. I want to thank you, not just for your time, but for your openness, your curiosity, and your willingness to look beyond the mind's story. It takes courage to question everything you've been told about yourself, and you've just taken a powerful step on that journey. If you'd like to go deeper into this exploration, I invite you to read my book, Awaken Your Spiritual Power. It's written to guide you through the real process of spiritual awakening in a simple, practical way, helping you break free from the illusions of the mind and reconnect with your true nature. You can find it on Amazon. Click the link in the description, and I truly believe it can be a companion for you on this path. Thank you again for being here, for listening, and for daring to wake up. Remember, you are not the storm, you are the sky. Keep going. Namaste.